Welcome to the Neurographica Presentation Part 2. Welcome, welcome. Crystal, I do hope you can see me this time. If you are, write it down. If you're not, continue PMing me. Welcome, 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 everyone. Today I'm doing part 2 of the Neurographica Presentation, where we will talk about the Neurographica method. I will explain to you, I will show to you, I will, try to help you understand a lot of interesting concepts and ideas behind the Neurographica method. Yesterday was part 1. I spoke about how the Neurographica method was created, about the author, the creator, Pavel Piskarev, PhD, the great force behind the method, the great energy behind the method, how it was created based on his knowledge of architecture, based on his knowledge of psychology, based on his knowledge of Jungian archetypes, based on his knowledge of, various ideas of the Reiki method, also known as quantum touch, the ability to using hands, the special energy that hands emanate. We talked a bit about the fine motor skills development that's associated with the Neurographic method, the fact that the nerve endings are at the at the tips of your fingers, right? And that's a direct connection to the brain development. Welcome to see all of that in yesterday's video. I have posted it on YouTube. It's on my Facebook. It's on my Instagram channel. So you're welcome to watch that. Let's go further today. Let's talk about what's going on with Neurographica further. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lana. Shalom. I'm a certified neurographic instructor and coach. I am an accredited trainer for the specialist course, so everybody are absolutely welcome to come and take the most coveted course. Not all instructors give you the specialist course. Only few hand-select instructors can teach that course. So if you are ever interested in becoming a specialist, I have that available. Welcome. That's a humongous part of my knowledge. Yes, I will be doing a lot of open sessions on explaining what the specialist course is after I do this part. Today, we're going to talk about the Neurographic Presentation. I will also post the schedule when I will be doing a lot of open sessions about the basic user course, explaining, understanding, sharing with you the concepts within the Neurographic method. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are watching me live, please welcome to write, hello on Facebook, on Instagram. I would love to hear a shout out. If you are watching a YouTube video, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe. The more you're going to like, the more you're going to subscribe. The best way is to like while you're watching it. The more you're going to subscribe, share my video so other people can benefit from this amazing, amazing method. That is the main goal of me doing the live session, telling you about it, talking about it, explaining more and more. Let me just write to somebody who kept asking me. Okay, excellent. Let's go on, okay? Those of you on Facebook, you're going to see my presentation. Those of you on Instagram, don't worry if you don't see my presentation right away. You can listen. I will explain all the concepts, everything written in the presentation. I will be talking about it, and you can always watch the presentation later on YouTube, okay? Let's do this, okay? Neurographica. Neurographica is a tool for managing. You're on my Zoom. Ah, okay. You were able to access my Zoom. I wasn't sure about that part. Okay. Let me just make sure that everything is okay. Give me a second, everybody. Oh, it's okay. I just want to make sure. Oh, you are here. Okay, I didn't hear you come in. Okay, excellent. I wasn't sure about that part. Okay. Let's talk about Neurographica. Neurographica is a tool for managing the emotional intellect while addressing rational challenges. This is an interesting concept, okay? What does that mean? There's an interesting way within the Neurographica how we work with all parts of who we are, okay? We're going to talk about it when I will post the topic, the reflection process. The reflection process is about dealing with 4 areas of who we are as a human being, okay? As a human being, we are a body. We are our emotions. We are our mind, and we are our soul, okay? Again, remember, everything I teach does come from the concept of based on religion. I do believe in God, so I will use the word God. I will use the word soul. Now, you are welcome to take what I am teaching you and kind of, connect it with your own personal beliefs. Some people instead of God say universe, some people instead of soul. I don't know what they say instead of soul. As far as I know, everybody uses the word soul, but if you have your own idea as a kind of different word for the word of soul, you're welcome to use it, okay? Let's talk about the results and the outcomes of what happens when we use Neurographica. We start bringing out who we are. Remember, we talked about it. Personal revelation comes out with understanding and the steady satisfaction of a personal identity, the joy, okay? The joy of knowing who you are, the joy of discovering who you are on all areas, who you are as a body. Okay, start understanding. A lot of people write to me that before Neurographica, they had a hard time understanding anything about their body. Now they're more connected. That's actually my personal story. I had a hard time connecting to my body. I had a hard time understanding anything much about my body. It was always a challenge. It always is. It still is a challenge. It's something that I'm still navigating. But it's interesting to start understanding that with the Neurographic method, you start understanding who you are. You start aligning all parts of who you are together, the synthesis. There's a whole course within the Neurographic method. It's a certified course called the Neurosynthesis, and it's about the synthesis of all 4 parts of who you are, your body, your mind, your emotions, your soul, aligning it together, because that's the true synthesis of any human, being. That's the true idea, the true endeavor, and understanding who we are. How do we get there? How do we reach personal revelation? How do we reach joy? How do we reach happiness? Okay, and that's the idea. Next stop is cohesion, learning how to reach balance and harmony when communicating with the society. Understanding how does it work was first we work on who we are as a person, then we start going out of myself. Who am I as an individual? Who am I as part of the society? How do I socialize with other people? First, with somebody who is very close to you, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, your children. Who am I? How do I reach harmony, balance, cohesion is the word when I socialize with others? Decreasing conflicts. This is a very interesting part about Neurographica. There is a certain algorithm when you start actually a part of the basic user course. It's a new algorithm that has been introduced this year. Those of you in my course, by the way, I will be doing a refresher of this algorithm. It's called the algorithm for removing judgment, okay? I originally called it algorithm for removing restrictions. The Institute officially called it algorithm for removing judgment. So that's what it officially will, my job is to align all the words and all the names with the Institute, because it's like what I said before, cohesion, right? Harmony and balance in communicating with others, including me and the Institute, including you and the Institute. We should all speak the same language when it comes to the Neurographic method, right? And this is the understanding. The algorithm for removing judgment is about decreasing conflict. First step, of course, decreasing conflict within yourself, but the next step is decreasing conflicts with others, other individuals, other entities. Start understanding, start working with who we are on the inside and on the outside. Then going further, learning to become inspired, finding your inspiration, which is truly a motivation to live life, okay? How many of you wake up in the morning and say, yes, I am so happy for this day. I'm so happy to be in this world. I'm so happy to live. I was recently actually remembering that my mother's anniversary of her passing in this week, and I was trying to remember, uh, some memories, and a memory of me as a child. I was never a morning person. Never a morning person. I did not like, and I was trying to understand what does it mean from a metaphysical point of view. And I realized the point for that was there was no inspiration, right? The idea of being inspired. Pay attention. I even look at my children and start thinking, how come this child wakes up with a lot of energy and waking up, and some children and adults too, they wake up in the morning and they're like, oh, I need to get up. Oh, it's so warm and cozy in my bed. Why do I need to get up? Okay. And this is the idea. The idea is for you to start understanding what is your inspiration in life. Neurographica is an effective tool to use to reach an inspiration, okay? The algorithm for the Neurographica, the best algorithm for that is the algorithms from two certified courses, NeuroGoal and NeuroTimeline. NeuroGoal is the best one. I actually have a separate course, has nothing to do with the Neurographica algorithms of the NeuroGoal. It's a separate course called the Goals and the Values, where I actually give you all the mystics. I uncover all the mystics behind setting a goal and actually being inspired to reach it, aligning your goals with your values, aligning your goals with who you are as a person. And that's the best idea, okay? That's a part of what Neurographica helps you get in life. Achieving inspiration, having the energy, being inspired, waking up and saying, yes, I want to get up. I want to do this, A, B, C, D. Yes, there are some difficulties, there are some challenges, but you know what? I enjoy challenges in life. Why? Because the point of challenges is to learn to overcome them. And that's the real joy. The real, happiness comes from achieving satisfaction, achieving outcome of your challenges. Okay. And that's the idea. The next step in the neurographic method is creativity, the desire to engage, right? Again, it's connected to the inspiration. When you wake up in the morning, right, you start thinking, oh, what do I have to do? I have this to do, this to do. And again, do those challenges inspire you? Do you have a desire to get engaged? Well, creativity, the ability, trying to think of challenges not as something as a big and scary big bad wolf, but rather something that you would get involved, something that you and the world, remember, this is the part where we talked about creating balance and harmony with the environment, with your society, okay? And together, it's not about, oh my God, I'm by myself. How do I overcome the challenge? But rather, how do we reach balance and harmony? How do we overcome this challenge and achieve, you know, inspiration for everyone, achieve creativity? Neurographica provides an outlet for your artistic being. We talked about it yesterday. We are all artists in our life, okay? Whether we are, have a special talent, right? Few people get special talent in different things, right? Some Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci and many other beautiful, wonderful artists. I love watching paintings. One of my favorite things is going to the museums. So that's something within ourselves, watching the beauty, noticing the beauty in the art, right? But the idea is, how do you bring the beauty in this world? You do it through your creativity. And it doesn't matter if somebody else doesn't find it to be artistic enough or museum masterpiece. That's not the point. The point is for you to start believing that, you know what? You are an artist. Your art is worthy of being, inspired. Your art is worthy of looking at and saying, wow, this is the most beautiful thing I ever drew. And I have that. When I draw Neurographica, I achieve it. We have a special step called stylization where we work on that. Achieving aesthetic beauty, achieving artistic, kind of ending, artistic harmony to the drawing. And that brings creativity. And the last thing, like I mentioned in the stylization, what we reach is synchronization, serenity, drive, flow, and the main word, that elusive word called happiness. Okay, if I ask you what happiness is, you will say, it's some kind of feeling. Most of you will have a hard time describing what happiness is because it's truly an elusive feeling. It's not the same as joy. Joy is a part of happiness, but happiness is something we all strive to reach. Okay, we talk a lot about the concept of happiness in the specialist course. I'm actually preparing a whole course on happiness. How do you reach happiness every single day on an everyday level? How do you become a happy person? Is it even possible? Like I said, it seems like such an elusive concept, like happy. In one moment you're happy, but the next moment it can pass. Is there a secret to becoming happy all the time? Yes, there is. And Neurographica is a big part of it. Neurographica will allow you to synchronize drive, flow, serenity, which will result in happiness. The next concept we have in the Neurographic method says Neurographic is a powerful tool that inspires creativity and artistic spirit. Okay, and we talked about it again, the same concepts over and over, the act of creation. That's something unique that Pavel always talks about, right? This is something I mentioned. You are a human being, you were created by God, you have a soul. That's called the act of creation. God created you as a human being, and you, as a result, you constantly have a drive to recreate something. It can be a concept you want to create. Some people have this desire to write books, right? Create stories, right? Some people are about storytelling. I love storytelling. I love to engage in storytelling. I love reading stories. Books is my favorite things to do, sitting down and reading, unravel this journey of discovering something and then going further to find out what is the force behind it. Different characters, how do they connect with each other? How do they, work with each other, socialize with each other? How do they uncover each other? Right. And that's the idea. That's called the act of creation. What is your act of creation? What would you like to create in your world? Every morning we wake up, remember about that energy I talked about, that we wake up? The point of your energy is about waking up and thinking, what am I creating today? Those of you who have kids, you know what I'm talking about. The most important act of creation is, of course, having children, procreating children. Even if you're an adoptive parent, being a parent is the most amazing act of creation. And that's what happens with Neurographica. Every single time we draw the Neurographica drawing, it's about becoming a parent. It's about creating a new child in your life. It's about, the act of creation. You're creating some new concept. You're putting a goal and you're creating a pathway to reach that goal. That's an amazing, amazing creation that influences you personally and everyone around you. Neurographic is about the versatile graphical code of the universe. What that refers to is, of course, the power of the archetypes. I will talk about it when I will make a whole video about the Neurographica alphabet. The language of Neurographica, the shapes we involved when we draw Neurographica, the neural line. What is that about? Why is that so important? How does that change who we are? It changes our DNA, it changes our understanding of the world around us, both on a mental level as well as an emotional, and the best result is on the physical level. It's understanding the versatile graphical code, understanding how when you draw certain shapes, it brings certain ideas from the universe. It brings certain stuff in your life that you are looking to attract. It's going beyond the law of attraction. It's a work of science. It's a practical method. We talked about it. It's an actual hands-on method. It's not just about me talking, right? I give you a lot of theories here, but we know that there will be a practical implication. Actually, when I will be doing the neurographical language, you will actually be seeing, I will change my camera and you will see the drawing. It will be a lot of concepts on drawing on the paper. It's a practical hands-on method. You have to do something with your hands. You have to do something with your body. You have to take actions in order to bring changes in your life. The practice of modeling the unconscious, like I said before, when we start drawing certain aspects, certain shapes on the paper, we start adding the neural line, it starts integrating with our unconscious. I will discuss this more. If you haven't seen yet, you can see I have a lot of videos where I did the pyramid of consciousness, where we talk about with each step of the Neurographic method, we dwell deeper and deeper within our unconscious, subconscious, And that's where the change occurs. That's where we start figuring out, who am I? What am I? Why do I want this goal? Now, why do I truly want this goal? Not because somebody told me, an influencer told me that I should buy this dress or this bag. Why do I really want this goal? Why do I want to make money? What does money represent to me? The most popular topic is always money. I will actually be making a practice in January, will be my focus on money. Let's start the new year with the right financial expansion, right? And that's the idea. A visual and kinesthetic modeling. We talked about it. It's visually, it's what you see, and kinesthetic, it's what you're doing with your fingers. Remember, the hand, the fingers is an extension of your mind. Look about it. It goes straight from your head, right? The brain, impulses going down the neck. There's a lot of metaphysical parts in here. There is an explanation why when we think about something and we do something with our hands, it's connected. What body parts are involved? Our ears, our mouth, our shoulders, our elbows, and our hand and our fingers. We must involve our fingers. Art style, art direction. Like I said, even if you're not a professional artist, that's okay. Guess what? We are all artists. We're all here to do an act of creation, to create our own art style, our own art direction. Social practice and communication skills. When you work with Neurographica, the first step is changing, transformation within myself. The next step is transformation within my environment, improving your communication skills with others. Aesthetic coaching, going beyond just creating art, going beyond just creating beauty. It's learning how to bring that beauty to others. It's a specialist course, learning how to use the Neurographica methods to bring transformation and changes to the lives of others, transforming the world one client at a time. The method of transformation of the world, that's one of the slogans of Neurographica, the organization and reorganization of neural pathways, the way our brain, the way we perceive something, the perception of any idea within our life is bound to neuroplasticity. The more we think about it, the more we learn about it, the more we start connecting whatever the goal is, whatever remote idea you have, with who you are as a person, with your unique reason why you are in this world, right? That's a part of, actually, I highly recommend for all of you to take the goals and values course that I have, because that's what it's about. It's about figuring out who you are, why you are here. We actually use the Dilts pyramid quite practically and quite expansively in the course, and understanding how who you are can align with all of your goals. Why do you even get those goals in the first place? Is that your true goal? Learning to do that. Neurographica, the part of the word neuro is connected to the neurons, the neural pathways, the neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the study, the scientific study of how our beliefs, right, setting a goal, understanding or believing on something can change the way how we live our life, can change our reality. I have an amazing, amazing story of one of my students. She's a student who actually more also like a colleague. She also became an instructor. She was not a student, but I supervised her work for her instructor's essay. And her story was how she had vision problems. She had like blindness coming up, and she started drawing neurographic on that, and it changed. It truly helped her on a scientific level. Just imagine that, right? We can think about concepts and law of attraction, but this is a medical issue, and she actually was able to improve her vision. Think about it. That's not just, just ideas from far away. It's an actual fact, it's an actual result. She actually went to the doctor, and the doctor was stunned when she said, yes, it improved. Your vision improved. And that's an interesting part, right? That's what Neurographica does. It connected to neuroplasticity, the belief that your mind, your brain can change with time. It used to be believed that people used to believe that only until the age of 3, people are able to change their, the way their brain develops. They actually looked at the CAT scan and they would think, the way the brain grows, those growth spurts, right? Then they started saying it's actually good up until the age of 5. Then they started saying age of 7, age of 12. Then it became to 21, right? That's why they say don't drink alcohol in America. You can't drink alcohol until the age of 21. They say it affects the way your brain develops. And that was it. That was for the longest lasting theory was up until the age of 21. After the age of 21, you cannot do anything to change the way your brain works, to change, the physical way your brain develops. The interesting part is now for the past, like I would say 10 years, it's the most fascinating, like scientific field, neuroplasticity. The more they do more research to understand that, you know what, your brain still changes. This lady who did the vision case study, she's like 70 years old. She did it while she was 70 years old. That was like a few years ago. And I was thinking in 2019 or 2020 that she did that case study as part of her study to become an instructor. And that's something to think about, okay? Neurographica is a great part of neuroplasticity. Actual ability to change your reality through the development of your brain, developing your brain to bring new ideas, new ways, new understanding how your brain works, right? Neurographic, this is what I was talking about, right? If you look at it as a visualization method, right? Just saying, I encode genetic pathways of love, joy, and healing. When you actually start drawing Neurographica and using affirmations for your drawing, like you can even do that, okay? Using a neuroline for each affirmation, then connecting, noticing how one affirmation connects with the other affirmations. As neurolines start what? Interpersing with each other, right? And then you start doing the rounding. You start harmonizing different affirmations with each other, with who you are. Okay, look at it scientifically. The way we look at the world, of course, is, the left eye is connected to the right brain part of the brain, and the right eye is connected to the left part of the brain. And how the way we view things, again, kind of on the other side. But it's started interesting to start understanding that if you close your left eye, you see one thing with your right eye. If you close your right eye, you see another perception with your left eye. When you open up both eyes, it's important. And your brain does that automatically. It's the ability to balance and optimally fuse together your right eye vision and your left eye vision. That's not an easy task, okay? There are a lot of studies of patients who have a problem within that part of the brain where the connection occurs, this one, optic chiasm, okay? So it's interesting to start reading. If you ever read one of those medical, I happen to read, I used to visit a friend of mine who was a doctor, and I would see a lot of magazines, those scientific journals, and I would read, and it's like fascinating. She's a neurologist, okay? And it's so interesting to understand this. So your brain actually, kind of automatically does that, does the fusion of both of your vision, both of your perceptions. Now imagine changing different perception, first on the mental level, then on the physical level, and understanding that that fusion will happen seamlessly. With the use of the Neurographica method, that fusion happens seamlessly. You will just start noticing around you doors opening, new opportunities coming your way to reach your goal, new understanding of how the world works. It's absolutely fascinating. This is what I was talking about yesterday when I talked that neurographic is scientifically based. This was the very first research. This was done, I think, in 2018 or 2019, one of those. This was done in New Mexico, maybe in Mexico. I'm trying to remember, either in Mexico or New Mexico, the state of USA, or in Mexico. As this was done in an actual university lab area where they did this. Okay, they took a subject, under the research, okay, who is 50 years old, okay, the research is conducted by the multi-channel neuroenergy measuring device. It's called NeuroAmia, okay, and it would measure single polarity in 5 categories, okay. A lot of this word I am not going to tell you. I know what they mean. Like, I don't understand the FZ, CZ, OZ, but if you read the findings, you will understand it, okay? You don't have to be, I did my master's program, I'm doing my PhD program. You don't have to be savvy with research words and professional words. This is very simple understanding, okay? This is the level of constant potential that was registered while being in the calm condition, okay? This research person was given a CAT scan, and they were measured their CAT scan before drawing Neurographica in a calm condition. And then during the drawing of Neurographica, 3 practices, 3 drawings, okay, within the method of Neurographica. The observations presented allows to discuss the method of Neurographica as a way to influence the condition of the human brain. It's right here, okay? This is the before pictures, okay? And they show how after the drawing of the Neurographica, the energy, the live, the actual, etheric energy, the movement within the brain has been expanded. It goes further, okay? Practicing Neurographica supports the significant fluctuation between the interhemispheric relationship with the prevailing activation of the right hemisphere. This is what we saw here, right? The right hemisphere is connected to your left eye. Second. And that's what it says. In order to detect the specificity and modality of the effect of samples for distribution, more full-fledged research is necessary. They're doing more research. There are more people who are conducting their PhD project, their dissertation project on the topic of using Neurographica drawing. And that's an interesting part, okay? But the main idea is that the Neurographica is a statistical result of the positive impact of Neurographica expressed by the feedback of the subjects, exceeds all the possible expectation of the author of the method and the trained professionals, okay? Somebody else I read recently, she's an instructor in Neurographica, and remember I talked about it yesterday, how amazing it would be to work with kids. So yesterday I met this, I kind of happened to read, went online, and again, law of attraction, right? I was talking about yesterday, and today I was reading how this instructor, she actually started working in school using the Neurographica method in schools. And she was talking how she started seeing, she was discussing it with the school counselor, how the improvement that everybody, the school administration, started seeing in the way the kids behave, in the kids' attention, their behavior in classroom, not just during the Neurographic instruction, but in general, throughout all the sessions, okay? Their interaction with each other, their interaction with the teachers, even the interaction, the family members started saying, the kids are calmer, they're more aware, they're more present. And that's the idea of the Neurographic, okay? The scientific research is very important. If you are in university level, if you are studying to become a PhD, if you are, if you would love to study Neurographica as, as a research, as a part of your dissertation, you're welcome to contact me. I will be happy to give you all the information, all the necessary, understanding and everything else, because this is truly, truly a fascinating subject to use for your scientific research, for your dissertation, okay? One of the main topics for the research in the laboratory is the impact of the neurographic line on the condition of the working brain, okay? The possibility of and the management of the condition, okay? It's interesting to start noticing that the Neurographic method is directly connected to the human brain waves, okay? There's a whole course called the neurosketching. In the neurosketching course, you actually study the different types of brain waves, how it's connected to the Neurographica, how different ways to draw the neural line connects us to different brain waves, the different pattern of the neural line. We try to make, and remember that neural line can never be a pattern, right? That's one of the major reasons. That's one of the golden rules. I will make a separate video on the golden rules of Neurographica. One of the golden rules is that neural line can never be a patterned line, okay? It can never look the same, okay? That's why I actually was looking for the right picture, and this picture is the best depicts it, right? Look at the line. It doesn't repeat itself, okay? But it's still quite like pattern-like, look, right? The waves are kind of more or less the same size, okay? In neural line, we also know it can go in all directions. Over here, it's mostly horizontal, but it's really in reality ideally it should be going in all different directions, not just going up or down or in one direction. And that's the idea. The human brain waves we have, we actually have five types of human brain waves. I listed 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but really 5. We study this in the neuro sketching course, okay, where we actually draw different types of neural lines, and we start figuring out, we start noticing, we do the reflection process, and we become aware of different energy that comes our lives, comes at this specific moment. You will start noticing. It will be, like I said, practical, hands-on. You start noticing how different brain waves will give you different, bring different energy to you. And each one of them is significant. Each one of them is relevant. Each one of them gives us a glimpse into our the neuro part of the Neurographica, our neural ways, okay? Our brain, the way our brain works will affect the way we feel at the moment, and we perceive our perception of the state of who we are, of our environment, and then, of course, of our interaction with our environment. And of course, the main subject is always about this person reaching their goal. That's why I keep saying, and I will always say, Neurographica is a coaching tool. It's a practical hands-on application on how to reach your goal, any goal in life. It can be a small goal. What am I doing today? It can be a big goal. What am I doing in 5, 6 months, okay? We're gonna, like I said, I'm planning for January, maybe the beginning of January, the very first week, I'm gonna try to schedule it. Let's work on financial expansion. Let's start understanding what money means to me. How do I view it? Because that's the idea. Learn to plan, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna plan out the money within 12 months, the whole year of 2025, okay? I think I'm gonna stop here. I've been talking long enough. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to write it for me on Facebook as a comment. I don't see any comments here. I see somebody's watching, but I don't know. You're welcome to write down if you have any comments, even if you're watching it as a recording. I would love to hear back to you. I would love to hear your feedback. Please share this with others. You're welcome to tag me. You don't have to tag me. Just share it. Just start spreading this amazing method with others. Start understanding. Let's start bringing, the more you transform other people's life, you always get it back, right? It's a part of being blessed. It's about blessings, right? We did the gratitude drawing. Was it a week and a half ago, right? The Sunday before Thanksgiving. If you haven't watched it, welcome to watch it and draw with me on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook profile. Welcome to watch and draw with me live as we bring blessings in our life. And that's part of this. When you share something amazing with others, you get double the blessings. You share, and whatever blessing that person, whatever transformation that person gets, you get it as well. That's how life works, okay? This is the way, all the amazing metaphysical teachers talk about it. Louise Hay, the Abrahamic Code, and everybody else. The Higgs, this is the best way. Like, even if you watch Tony Robbins, right? He's amazing. That's what he talks about. Start bringing transformation to yourself, start bringing it to others, and then you will see double the blessings, okay? So share the videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's together unravel this amazing method and start bringing amazing transformational changes to yourself first, to others around you, to the world at large. Okay, I'm wishing you a beautiful day or a night ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hi, Jacqueline. It's so nice to see you. And I was thinking about you. Okay. I was like, at one point, I was like, oh, I don't know why. I was talking about maybe some course or something. And I was like, oh, I don't know why, but I thought about you, Jacqueline. So I'm so happy to see the law of attraction works. Okay. You are here. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow as I'm doing my live at 12 o'clock again. I will bring you the last part of the Neurographica presentation, part 3. Okay. Welcome to join me. Welcome to unravel this amazing method. Wishing you a beautiful time ahead. Goodbye, everybody.